Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. And in today's video, we're going to begin the final story of the week, a special Saturday edition for PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, that being in the form of Konosuba, The Adventures of Spider-Ham. What If Kazuma Was Spider-Ham, Season 1, Part 1. Now, unlike a lot of stories that we have here on this channel, this story is not immediately going to start in the very beginning of Konosuba. One, because of time restraint, and because where I start my story, there wouldn't be any point of starting all the way in the beginning, we'd just be wasting time. But also because I want to try to get things done in a timely manner. While we will be having Saturday videos, that's mainly because we started the Spider-Verse series a month late, so we're really trying to play catch up here. But you could say that out of all of the series in the Spider-Verse saga, while this one will have its thrills and excitements, it's also going to be more on the comedic side, tapping into more of the comedy aspects of the Spider-Man lore, along with the comedy aspects of Spider-Man villains that we've seen all throughout the years, but nevertheless retaining the never-ending fun that is Spider-Man and Konosuba. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into today's video. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. The people of Axel all stood in attention as a tiny individual standing on a rock beside a very angry headless knight began to make a declaration. Attention, people of Attention, people of Ew. The people in attendance would look on rather disgusted. I'm sorry, hairball. I speak on behalf of the Dullahan Verdia, who is here to sentence judgment on your ow. The 4-foot-tall Catman would be bopped on the head by the Dullahan, ushering him to the side and refuting him from speaking any further. You've embarrassed yourself enough, Doctor. I can speak for myself. Oh, brother. Hey, my name's Kazuma Sato. You've probably heard this a lot, so let's start over one more time. My name, officially, is Kazuma Sato, as I'm sure you're all aware. Wait, why did I just say that twice? That makes no sense. Never mind, forget it. Anyway, yada yada yada, you know my story. I died getting hit by a truck. He didn't get hit by a truck. Shut up, Aqua. I died doing a heroic feat. He didn't save anyone. Aqua, I'm warning you. I died doing a noble act and as such was reincarnated in another world, chosen as its hero in defeating the devil king. He didn't do anything! He ended up having a heart attack and he died in the hospital. His parents all laughed at him. Ow! My head! Anyway, I died and got sent to another world. But you all know that story. And so far, things went about as how you could have expected it to, all the way up until this very moment. Why are we all gathered outside of the city of Axel fighting for our lives? Why is there a talking cat? Why is there a talking cat with metal arms? Well, in this world, nothing makes sense. From the masochistic knight that can't hit anything to save her life, to the useless goddess that can't do anything besides party tricks, and the crimson demon mage who can only use explosion magic. Safe to say, I've seen my fair feat of things in this lifetime, and I've died more times than I ever want to think of. But the reason why we're all here is because of the little gremlin, because she just had to keep blowing up a castle. Anyway, back to the story. Kazuma and the others would run for their lives as the Dullahan went chasing after them. Not just him, but an army of undead who were particularly after Aqua, who continued to run and scream, begging for help. Kazuma had to come up with a plan. However, before he could have a chance to, the little cat had his sights on the boy. My sources tell me that you are the brains of this operation. The brains? Oh, please. We all know that you work with a bunch of idiots. Yeah, I can't refute that. That's why I won't let you get in the master's way. Because I have this. A box? Not just any box. The cat would use its mechanical arms to set the box pristinely on the ground before the box would open up, revealing a horde of spiders? Not just any spiders, radioactive spiders. What the? Why would you carry radioactive spiders? Because, go my minions, sink on that boy! Well, the next thing Kazuma knew, he was running for his life as an army of irradiated spiders chased after him. However, the spiders were rather docile, and they ended up chasing after Aqua also. The two running for their lives, and the spiders were even going after the Dullahan. You idiot! I told you not to get involved! Verdia would yell to the cat. I'm sorry! Wait, I can fix this! I swear, if you bring out those radiated birds again, I'll turn you into a hat. No, I worked out the kinks this time. Who's gonna use radioactive birds to try to catch radioactive spiders? So what, radioactive lizards? Kazuma would yell. No, who would use a mutated lizard? That's just ridiculous. Mutated vultures? Megumin would say. No, I wouldn't have used the vultures. Besides, those failed last Tuesday. Wait, what about a radioactive rhino? Darkness would ask. No! I'm not using vultures, I'm not using lizards, and I damn sure ain't using a rhino. I have these. The cat would set down yet another box, as the box would summon instead radioactive pigs? Pigs? Why pigs? Well, the purpose of the pigs were to catch the spiders, after the spiders caught Kazuma. This ended up in a wild goose chase of sorts, Kazuma eventually finding himself succumbing to the multitude of radioactive spiders, and the spiders subsequently bitten by the radioactive pigs, who also ended up biting Kazuma. Aqua and the others would all fear the worst for him, believing that he was devoured by spiders that were devoured by pigs. Even for Verdia, he thought that was a little extreme for the little cat doctor's mad scientist thingy. However, the scientist believed that he had finally gotten one over on the heroes. However, he would soon be proven wrong, as from the wreckage and the pile of carnage that had ensued, there lied an individual. It kind of looked like Kazuma, except shorter, stubbier, a lot pinker, a little pink tail. It was a pig man. No, a spider pig man. Kazuma, for some weird mutation, being bitten by the radioactive spiders, had somehow given him spider power, and then bitten by the radioactive pigs gave him the ability of being a pig man of sorts. All of this was making absolutely no sense, but for Kazuma, this felt like things couldn't get any worse. The last thing he wanted to do in this new world was be turned into someone's dinner, and the way that some of the people were looking at him, they thought that he was ripe for roasting. However, as Kazuma found himself engaged with the enemy, there was one bright side about all of this. That was the fact that Kazuma found himself imbued with superhuman power. That was in the form of his strength, his speed, his reflexes. His stats had gone off the charts. As he looked closer at his guild card, he realized he now had two forms, human form and pig form. Wait, I can switch from human form to pig form. Kazuma would quickly switch back to his human state. However, he quickly realized that in his human form, he didn't have the powers. Wait, what? I don't have any of my awesome powers as a human? No, it seems you only have them as a pig, Megumin would say. Oh, what the? In either case, Kazuma would go back into his pig form as they continued on in the fight against Verdia. They soon realized that the best way of defeating the Dulan was to entrap him with water. With Kazuma using his pig-like abilities, he was able to snatch off the head of the Headless Knight, while Aqua would use Sacred Turn of Dead, destroying the body. The cat, along with the other army of the undead, would have no choice but to retreat, as the army itself was also destroyed by the flooding waters, as everyone used Create Water to get rid of them. And since the cat was not too fond of water itself, using his mechanical arms, he would scurry back to the castle from which he came. With there being nothing left but of the Dullahan's head, they were ready to destroy it. That was until a tiny drone came out of nowhere, snatching up the head and leading in the retreat. Of course, that meant that technically speaking, the general hadn't been killed, but at the very least the day had been saved. But there was something else that was bothering Kazuma, trying to figure out what on earth he had become. Thankfully, there was someone in town who might be able to help them, that being in the form of the ditzy shopkeeper, the Lich, Wiz. Wiz had been familiar with Verdia as she was a former general of the Devil King, but in the end, all she did was keep up the barrier, nothing too significant. She was also familiar with Octo Doctorpuss, that being the right-hand man to Verdia. He was a former scientist who believed in the arts of technology over the arts of magic. However, it was due to a magical error that turned the doctor into a cat. Not only that, but he used to work with mechanical arms that used for his assistance. When he transformed into the cat, the arms ended up infusing with his spine. So he was basically stuck as a cat man with mechanical arms. But nevertheless, that didn't stop his scientific ambitions, and in fact, he had doubled down on them, while still serving as an assistant to the general. But now there was the matter of Kazuma, trying to figure out what to do with him. He could transform into a pig and into a human, however, he only had powers in his pig form. There was also the matter that every time he transformed into a pig, his clothes would become, too big for him to wear. But that's when Aqua, who was rambling on and on, had an idea. Wait, I know what this is! I know what this is! Huh? What are you talking about? Well, I am a goddess, don't you know? I've seen many different worlds and many different peoples, and I think I've seen a story just like this. The story of a boy who was bitten by a radioactive spider and gained the powers of a spider. You know, being able to leap, jump, do whatever a spider can. I don't remember his name. Plebeian Peaker? Pewter Peaker? Something, maybe Parker? I'm not entirely sure. But in either case, I think this is what you've become. What? A boy being given the powers of a radioactive spider and a radioactive pig? I mean, the spider part makes sense, but what exactly am I supposed to do with the pig form besides avoid being hunted and turned into someone's dinner? What's that smell? Is that bacon? Kazuma then realized that his tail was standing over a small flame in the shop, and he was starting to catch fire. Kazuma quickly running to put it out before Aqua would douse him in water. Kazuma would then transform back into a human, and that still left him with the plight of wondering what he could do with his pig spider-like powers. Aqua still didn't understand the gist of everything, but if she remembered correctly, the hero she was talking about used to wear a uniform, a costume. It was red and blue. Aqua would try to make it by memory, and it was presented to Kazuma. It was a cool looking costume, a bit strange. It kind of reminded him of that weird Sentai spider guy from his world. There was some show about him. He used guns, he rode in a giant robot. Wait, was he gonna get his own robot out of this? In either case, it was time for Kazuma to try things out. Wiz made for Kazuma a special bracelet that would transform his clothes into whatever state he was in. So in his human form, he would have his adventure clothes, and in his pig form, he'd have his strange spider costume. With that, they would begin a series of training montages as Kazuma tried to learn his various abilities. Looking at his guild card, when he was in pig form, he saw that he had a lot more skills. Web fluid, spider sense, superhuman strength, level 5, superhuman reflexes, level 5, with the chance to grow. There was also a forbidden technique, something called the power of the tune. What's the power of the tune? No one had no idea what that meant, but whatever it was, it had to be pretty effective because he wouldn't be able to access it until he at least reached a level 20, although he didn't know how long it'd take for him to level up in that regard. But still, for now though, he had these powers, and he figured he'd have to make the most of them. As Kazuma went about training, in the meantime, back at the castle of Verdia the Dulan, who was now nothing more but a head, Dr. Octopus was now going to have to get to work reviving his master. Although thankfully, he had been waiting for such a day. Yes, the time has finally come. Science will prevail. Shut up! Look, I need you to build my body back. I need to get revenge on those 4. That whole town is gonna burn. Yes, sir. I'll get to work on it right away. Minions! A group of undead skeleton warriors who were rather ditzy and dumb would suddenly appear. You all disgust me, but I have use for you. Come, together we are going to rebuild Master Verdia, and we will get revenge on the people of Axel, starting with that no-good pig boy. It is now time for Project Jack-O-Lantern. Jack-O-Lantern? 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 Yes, the Jack-O-Lantern! And with that, as Kazuma and friends were beginning to explore the new powers that their ally had possessed, the villains were also making their own moves, as Project Jack-O-Lantern was now being called into effect. But what would await Kazuma in this new world, as he now took to his own, stepping forth as the amazing Spider-Ham? This concludes Konosuba, The Adventures of Spider-Ham. What If Kazuma Was Spider-Ham? Season 1, Part 1. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is Power Chord Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Also, never forget to leave your suggestions down in the comment section below. I always read them, and you never know, your ideas may pop up in a video sometime in the near future. But stay tuned for Monday's video as we continue. Kaguya-sama, Love is War, Queen of Thieves. What if Shirogane was Spider-Man? Season 1, Part 2. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Arrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.